Hi, I would like to welcome you to our training video for the Kramer Labline P-Series. This is our compact tester with a 7-inch touchscreen display with an area to put the tablets manually, a waste bin for the broken tablets, and on the back side you have a flap to open to connect power, printer and network. All parts of the tester are easily removable for cleaning. As well, the centerpiece with a colored illumination of the status of the tester. This is the transport star wheel, hardness tester drive unit, hardness tester load cell to measure diameter, width and hardness. And here we have the thickness measuring foot and the weigh pan of the balance. Okay, so now let's reassemble the tester. And see how it works. Open the back flap on the tester and switch on the tester on the main switch. And now we can turn on the machine by pressing the button in the front. And the tester will start its initialization cycle. The display will show you the current software version and ask you to log in. We are entering the password. And the tester finishes the initialization cycle. This is the main screen, menu screen of the P5. We can see 5 parameters: weight, thickness, length, width and hardness, and the indication of number of tablets that are tested. And here we have 3 test menus: quick test, direct test and product test menu. On the menu button up here you can change to a second menu that gives you the choice of tests, reports, products and system setup. And you can change between the 2 menus with this menu button on the top. The quick test allows you to test 1 tablet. The direct test allows you to make you a test with a preset number of tablets. And the product test allows you to select a product that was previously entered into the system with all parameters, name, product number and so on, and will give you then the full test details. Okay, so we will start do a quick test to measure 1 tablet. I insert 1 tablet and press start quick test, and the test starts immediately. According to the presetting in the system settings for quick test, you can measure 1 tablet and then find the results on the screen. The results will not be saved and will not be printed. So now we see the results of this test with the weight in gram. You can also change it to milligram, thickness in millimeter, length in millimeter. The width I have set to 0, we do not measure on a round tablet, and the hardness in Newton. We have tested 1 tablet, and you can now write down the values because they will not be stored. Next we will go to start a direct test. For this we will place 3 tablets into the star wheel because the direct test as a default is configured for 3 tablets. You have the choice here also to add a batch number. But there is no product specification. And here you see in the default menu we have set it to 3 tablets, but you could also go and change the quantity if you wanted to per parameter. Then we say OK and the test will start. The 3 measurements are completed and the star wheel is emptying to make it ready for the next test. On the direct test you can now find the values, the overview on these test results. You can see the individual values, the statistics, at the diagrams and histograms. You can also make a printout if you wish to do so. Okay, so now we will do a product test, the most common test method usually used. The operator selects a predefined product, then he can enter a batch number. He puts the tablets in. He can now still change the number of measurements he wants to do per station and start. Now all 3 tablets have been measured. You can see the result of the last tablet, and if set up accordingly you can also do an automatic printout at the end of the test. And you see of course the values as well on the screen. You can look at values, statistics, diagrams, histograms, and we will receive as well a printout. And here comes the printout with the product specification, batch indication, which operator has executed the test. Then we have the test conditions with nominal values, target values, and if tolerances are entered you can find also the T1, T2 tolerances. Then we have the measured values, the statistics and the diagrams as we have seen it before on screen. Now we will enter the specs of a round tablet. We select the menu products, plus button, and now we can enter a product number and the product name. Then we go to test classes. We select the weight and we want to enter the weight in milligrams. Number of measurements is 5. Nominal value, target value is 150 milligrams. Okay. Then we go to tolerances and we can set up T limits, T1, inner T1 limits and outer T2 limits. So we can enter them
for example in absolute values or also in percentage. I select absolute values. The lower T1 limit will be 145 milligram. The upper T1 limit is 155 milligram. Then the lower, go back, the lower T2 limit would be 140 and the upper T limit will be 160. So the T2 limits always need to be outside of T1. In the plus range, T2 must be bigger than T1. In the minus range, T2 must be less than T1. To have a symmetrical tolerance field, and the nominal value is in the center. In addition to that, we can also set up a plausibility limit right here, for example as 120 milligram, the lower one, and the maximum, for example 170. This means all values that are measured outside this range will be ignored and do not go into the statistics. This is a good feature to avoid false measurements in case an operator puts two tablets in one chamber. So we store these values, and now we can repeat the same procedure for thickness, width, diameter, hardness. So we have entered all the nominal values and tolerances, and we now move on to device options. The device options allow you to set up a number of parameters to better handle and orientate the product. Now we are entering a round tablet, so this is not critical for alignment. That means we don't need to set up anything here. There is star wheel speed, which you can leave at 1 millimeter per second as a standard. Thickness tester, minimum value for detection, 0.5 millimeter, that's usually okay. That means any values below are not being measured. The same for the diameter, and all the rest you can actually leave as it is and store. If we go back into edit, yes, we have already entered the general specs, test classes and device options, and batches and info is not required. So we leave the menu and the product is ready for testing. So this was entering the specs of a round tablet. Now we will have a look at the specifications to enter an oblong tablet. And we have already one oblong tablet entered here. And the only difference is in the device options. There we need to enter a few additional specifications. One is shorter reverse travel between measurements, that's recommended. You can add 10 millimeters, that is as a standard, that's fine. Then the star wheel speed we can leave at 1 millimeter. Minimum for thickness and diameter testing is the same. In some cases where oblong tablets tend to tilt during the width measurement, you can activate the pump measurement. Then we have the Vibra line for right hand alignment. That means for the first positioning of the tablet, the Vibra line will move the tablet to the side. Here we can set intensity and duration. The same you can also set up for the diameter alignment, and you can also activate the Vibra line during the measurement, and you can use the Vibra line as well for the width measurement. Also here on the width you can activate a pump movement. Now, to find out which value to set up for the Vibra line intensity and duration, you have an editor here that you can change intensity and time for both, and then you can place your tablet into the hardness station, and you can use these buttons to check how the tablet moves its position from diameter measurement to width measurement. Okay, in order to find the right intensity and time, you can use this test mode to turn the tablet and to see how it moves in both directions. To restart, you have to push the tablet back against the fixed jaw of the hardness tester and then repeat the test. So that's fine. This movement is absolutely perfect. Once you find these parameters, you can say store, and these values will be stored to the product. Okay, once you have set up all the values, you say store, and it's finished. Okay, so this was the entering specifications for an oblong tablet. Now if we leave the menu, we come back to the edit recently used products, and it will just show you the recently used ones, and if you press here on the catalog, you will get a list of all products that are in the system, and you can call them up and edit them or delete them or copy them, or you can also export products to a USB stick or to the network. So, another method of entering new products is, instead of entering everything manually, you can use the automatic method here. By pressing this auto button, you can place the tablets in the tester, and it will measure the tablet that is in the tester, and it will create a new product with the parameters of this very tablet. You can then edit and add more specifications as required. Next menu, we are looking at the reports menu, where you can find a list of all products and batches that have been tested. You can select a product and a batch, for example, here. And you can load this data, and then you see the overview, again product and batch, the test conditions, the values, statistics, diagrams, histograms. So you can reprint any individual tests. For example, here we have test number 2 of this product, and you can also here print out a complete report for each test. Then we have here a menu system where we have settings, extended settings to parameterize the system and to configure the system. We have an initialization button to initialize, reset the whole tester. We have a cleaning mode. By selecting the cleaning mode, the thickness gauge moves up and the hardness tester backwards to make it easier to remove the different components, such as the cover and as well the star wheel. We have also here, besides the cleaning mode, we have a test Vibra line. This is again to check the operation of the tablet orientation and to find the right intensity and time for each product. Next menu we look at is the tests menu, where we can execute the adjustment and calibration procedures. For adjustment calibration, we can select here. You see a section calibrate, that is to verify the accuracy of the tester, and if the accuracy is not good, you can then go into adjustment mode. So we select here presets, and for example the weight, and press calibration, and we see we have here a 10 gram weight that is expected for the calibration. We say 0, then the balance will 0 itself, and then we select the 10 grams and we say calibrate. It has failed because there is no value, no weight, calibration weight on the balance. Now I put the weight onto the balance and try again. And now you can see the nominal value is 10 grams. The tolerance is plus minus 1 milligram. The measured value is 10.0002. That means it is within tolerance and the status is OK. Calibration is successful. Next we will verify the thickness calibration. It is done with a 5 mm and a 10 mm gauge block. We select the 5 mm, first make a 0 point, then we do the 5 mm, and you see it's 5 mm is not in, so it says failed. Now we put the 5 mm gauge block in and repeat again, and the status is OK. Now we select 10 mm, put the 10 mm block in, execute, and it failed because I have put in the block in the wrong way. We will repeat, put it in the correct way, it says 10.03. It is within specification and status is OK. So next we do the hardness calibration. For this we unscrew the two screws from the hardness load cell and we put the load cell to the vertical position, put on the calibration adapter plate and select hardness, calibrate. We can now first do the zero calibration without any weight on it. Its status is OK, and then the next step is 5 kg. I add the 5 kg weight, say calibrate, and also here status is OK, within tolerance, and calibration of the hardness is finished. Then we put the load cell back to its original position with the two screws, and we slide the load cell back until it stops, and we tighten the screws. These screws don't need to be very tight, just hand tight. That's okay. Next we go to the diameter calibration. We select diameter and we now, the hardness tester will move forward to take the 0 point and initialize, and then we can enter the calibration gauge blocks to verify the accuracy of the diameter measurement. So now we can select 10 mm gauge block, for example, and we put in the 10 mm gauge block into the measuring station. The result is 9.99 millimeters. The status is OK. It's within tolerance. We remove the gauge and we go on and select 20 millimeters, second step, calibration point, and we enter the 20 millimeter gauge block. Also here we have 19.99 as a result. Status is OK. The accuracy of the diameter tester is fine. For this calibration, it is also possible to set up and pre-configure multiple points, like 3 point or 5 points, to verify according to your requirements. For the calibration of the width is measured in the same station, so it's the exact same procedure as for the diameter. For the daily calibration check of the hardness tester, we have a nice option. This is our mechanical tablet, a set of 4 different tablets in the range of 50, 100, 150 and 200 Newton. This tablet can be used to make a quick verification check if the hardness tester is working within the range. For this you can put the tablet into the hardness station and select the calibration modus and perform a measurement. The hardness tester will drive forward
make one measurement and give us a result which needs to be within a certain tolerance and which approves the accuracy of the tester. We have a number of additional features for our LabLine P-Series tester, such as a plexiglass cover to protect the tester, and on the software side we have several features to export data. There is 21 CFR Part 11 compatibility available, and of course, last but not least, IQ, OQ and PQ documents to support you with the qualification of the instruments. I trust that this video instruction is useful for you and helps you to get started with the LabLine P-Series. Thank you.